Well, hi there. Today we're going to be trying Blender. This is not my first time trying Blender, but it's basically my first time. I played around with it for like 10 minutes once before. I have a client who needs a 3D render of something for a project. We created this mask illustration and he wants it in 3D, so I'm going to try and solve that problem. An illustrator has got to be a problem solver. I have done 3D modeling in the past. One of my first jobs was to actually do architectural renderings, and I was a complete noob at the time, but you know, I faked it until I made it. I made a video on faking it till you make it. Check it out in the link below. And when I was at school, I learned a little bit of 3D stuff. I went to school for illustration and I didn't study animation or 3D modeling, but we did have the opportunity to use the computers and indulge ourselves in trying out some of the 3D programs. So I did an animation for one of my projects back in school, but I haven't touched it since then. I watched a few tutorials just to give myself an idea of the basics, the basic tools, and sort of how it works. There's going to be lots of stumbling blocks, I'm sure, but I'm excited to learn them along the way. So without further ado, let's download Blender and see what this is all about. All right, I just Googled Blender and got it download right here, and download Blender. There we go, download Blender. Okay, Blender installer. All right, let's do it. All right, here we go, Blender time. Okay, so this is Blender. So I have my Wacom tablet and my mouse. I'm gonna figure out which one's which. Now I know the mouse wheel and the middle mouse button are for zooming in and out, pretty easy. And I believe if I hold the shift, yeah, I can pan around. And if I hold control, it's an easy zoom in and out. All right, pretty simple. Now I'm going to delete this object and I'm going to create a new one. Shift A is create an object. I remember that from one of my tutorials. What happens if we create a cube? How many vertices are in a default cube, I wonder? We're gonna sculpt. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. There is not a lot of vector data here in this cube, but I think if I go remesh, there we go. Got lots of vertices here. Okay, so we're gonna switch to the drawing tablet here, and we need to turn this into a mask. So I wanna kind of shrink this down laterally. I wanna make it a little bit narrower. I wonder if there's an easy way to do that. Maybe a stretch or transform or something. Oh, look at that. You can rotate from up here and zoom in and pan around. Oh, that's easy. You just change the scale like this. Does that work? Or does that just shrink this object? And then if I wanna place that object, oh no, we're good, I think. I think we're good. Let's see how this does. Okay, so we're gonna mold this piece of clay into the shape of a mask. Maybe, I think for the purpose of this, I'm gonna try and make a skull, like a skull mask. Let's see how it goes. Let's get sculpting. Okay, now I remember from my tutorial that there are a couple key shortcut keys. The F is for changing the size of the brush, and if you'll shift F, it changes the strength as well. Okay, you can pucker it out there like that, and if I hold shift, it'll push it in. So let's mold these corners into a roundish sort of shape. And I know I can turn on symmetry, so if I do something to one side, but I kind of want this one to be asymmetrical. It's kind of my jam. Okay, so now we got to carve in the bottom here, and this has got to go in quite a bit. It's actually got to become almost convex. I think if I use this one, no, that's not really working. This one? Okay, this brush is way too big. Ah, okay, here we go. What tool is this? The Draw Sharp tool. Yes. I want to make the side of a skull, the side of a jawbone. Ooh, that's getting pretty deformed. Now if I hold shift, I know it smooths it out. So carve in, smooth. Carve it in, smooth. Yeah, let's carve it right in and have the bottom of the jaw kind of pop right out. That out. Okay, so now I'm running out of polygons here, but that's okay because I can remesh this. I know that from the tutorial. I'm gonna remesh, boom. I'm actually gonna make this smaller, I think. There we go. Do it too small, it'll tax your computer too much. I don't want my computer to explode. This hint's more, whoa, ooh, that's getting a little, well, you know what. Is there just like an eraser tool? Fill. Nope. I don't feel like this is gonna go the way I want it to. You know, it's funny, it's just like, this is such a small thing, I'm sure. For me, the biggest deal in the world right now. There we go, it's gone. It's gone. Hey, let's push the back of this thing in and make it like a skull mask sort of thing. Yeah, I like this. Let's start thinking about how the actual shape of the face is gonna work. I like the idea of this clay strips brush. Keep it nice and rough. It's just an experiment. I do not know how I'm gonna make the holes for the eyes. That is gonna be a problem. Let's change the lighting on this. How do we do this? Yes, I want the scene lights. Where are the scene lights? Where's the scene? Okay, so let's make it like a little bit more overhead. How do we do? Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I'm moving the light around. All right, good enough for now. Let's keep carving. Let's maybe apply material to this so we can really have the details pop and have control over the lights and the darks a little bit better. Okay, so I can change the world color. It's the color of the world. It's a black world right now. I can't see the bottom part of my face, so if we adjust the material on this object, I think that'll be what we need to do. There we go, there's materials down here, and I can add a material. So the emission is like the light that it naturally gives off. So I'm gonna just make the shadows, the whole thing just emanate a bit of a warm grayness, just so I can work. Okay, so I want to remove an object from another, and I heard that there's a way to do this with a boolean. Okay, so we want to remove this from the mask. So where do I want this item to be? I might have to Google this. Let's see if we can figure this out. Boolean modifier. Yes, that's what we want. We want to boolean it. There it is. It's under that little gear thing. Add modifier. Boolean, there it is. Okay, so we've added a Boolean modifier. What's the next step? No, I think that added them together. So we want to do the difference, I think. Wait, if we do the difference, and then I delete this? Nope. If I do a union, does that actually combine them together? I don't think it does. You know, I might have to give up on this for now, just because I want to work on the basics, and I feel like this is maybe getting into the weeds a little bit more than I actually want to. Oh, is Blender gonna crash on me? Oh, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. No. Okay, so I don't think this is working. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of this. We're not gonna worry about that now. Here, we'll just carve out some sort of divots for the eyes, I guess. Carve in eye, sort of the idea. Where's the scene? Let's move that light. Okay, continuing on here. Okay, so this one lets you just grab a part and just move it around. What tool is that? The elastic deform. Ah, this one lets you pull stuff out and make me a unicorn. Multi-res displacement eraser. I don't feel like that's doing anything. Snake hook. So is the opposite, I know this one pulls things out. So is the opposite of that to push things in? Yeah, it is. It is not working. Okay, so this one smushes things around. I feel like I need more detail in my mesh. We made it all the way to the back. There we go. This is a good tool. Carve in this nose. Okay, so we're gonna just paint on with some clay strips. So we want this guy to be kind of menacing, I think. Client's project, the mask, it has kind of a menacing look to it. So let's see if we can beef up this guy's attitude a bit. Scrape, eh? What's a scrape do? This edge is getting so sharp. Okay, where's that tool that lets you grab parts and move them around? There we go. That's sort of looking like a skull, sorta, a little bit. Why does the brush get so narrow over here? I do not like that. Is that because we didn't apply the transform or something like that? All right, so I need to figure out what went wrong here, and I think that's something to do with the scale. Isn't it? Yes, apply scale. Yeah. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. Uh-oh. And I do not know what to do about this. Sink it in. There we go. Okay, let's keep going here. This is the part where I really need things to look good so I don't get discouraged. Let's make him like have a raised eyebrow. One raised eyebrow. In hindsight, I probably should have gone with the symmetry and just made it asymmetrical after I had already done the basics. So this nose ridge here, these cheeks, we gotta get these cheeks out. I'm gonna go around, smooth out all these ridges and stuff. And okay, keep carving in, carving in, carving in. There we go, that's looking pretty good. Sink this whole area. the nose bridge. Sink that back. There we go, that's looking good. Where's that one that lets me carve in? Yeah, crease. There we go. Let's do like a ridge on his brow too. All right, whoa, that is quite the brow ridge. Yeah, sort of. Use this to sharpen some edges, that's cool. Multi-plane scrape, that sounds cool, but I don't understand what it's actually doing. So it's like pinching and pushing at the same time. Oh, okay, maybe if I start the crease first, yeah, let's do that. Let's get nice and small. Smooth it a little bit and see how it looks. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want. This lighting is a little bit harsh. It's a little bit overhead. So let's change that just a bit. Gotta get that nose to go in too. Feel like it was probably perfect the way it is. Okay, let's build up these cheekbones. Definitely like my skeletons to have some very pronounced cheeks. You know, this is actually a lot of fun. I hope I can get good at this someday. It really is a lot of fun. Okay, so, man, I wish there was just an eraser that just like literally took away and even left holes. I know that's kind of something you don't want in a 3D mesh, but it would really make my life easier. This tool might actually exist, I just don't know about it. I think for this kind of thing, you really want the lighting to be chosen very specifically so it gives you just the right effect, and then work on the model exactly the rendering that you have in mind. I'm not going to be using this for anything grandiose or anything like that. I just want one good picture from it. So I'm just going to do all the cheats, everything I need to do to make sure that my one picture just has exactly the right look. I'm not going to worry too much if the mesh itself doesn't really make sense. It has nothing to do with the fact that I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and I wouldn't know how to make a proper mesh even if I wanted to. It has nothing to do with that. Ooh, I like how one corner of his mouth is higher than the other. Let's do that. Oh, I love him. I love this. This is so fun. That is great. I love this. All right, let's do a tooth. We'll do one tooth, and then we'll multiply it a couple times, and we'll just give him some quick teeth. Let's see how quick I can do these teeth. I'm getting the hang of this now, which is nice. There's the light, I just can't see it. Okay, so we just want to add. Let's go with, actually, you know what? I'm gonna start with a box instead. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna scale it, and then we are going to apply scale. Good. Yeah, let's make this look like a tooth. Teeth should be all wonky, right? Just gonna do one tooth. Just gotta call this quits at some point. It's been a really good experiment. I feel like I've learned a lot. Skeleton's tooth has got to be all crooked and weird. All right, yeah, that's the stuff. Okay, and let's put a couple more ridges in there because I kind of lost them when I messed that up. So, okay, so we have one tooth. So we want to change the scale of this. Actually, you know what? Let's do it by hand because then it'll look a little extra wonky, which is kind of to be desired. Shrink this down. Oh, and the benefit to doing a skull is that it's already the perfect color. It's just like a generic white, much smaller than that. So, right? Okay, so we want to be able to see him under this lighting. Oh, we need to apply the same material to this one. Don't. Some easy copy and paste. Oh, there is, of course. Let's rotate this one and make it smaller. This tooth has got to go back into his head a bit more. Another big one. Some variation in these. Oh yeah, we'll give him this place where there's no tooth, right in the middle, right? Gotta have a missing tooth, of course. Skeleton like this, of course he's missing a tooth or two. And we got one more tooth to put in here. Feels pretty good, but I'm worried that this tooth is too rough. It's distracting down there. So I'm going to smooth it out. Oh, it doesn't do it for all of them. Okay, so I can sculpt each of these now. Let's do this one last tooth. This little guy down here. Okay, that feels really good to me. Okay, so I wonder if I should render him. What's the render? Right, there's gotta be a camera, right? There is a camera. Okay, let's do this thing. Layout, camera. That's the right idea. It's a complicated interface, holy jeez. That's pretty good. A little bit, and rotate it a little bit, and get just the right position for our glamour shot. It needs to be a little more front on. It's Pretty good. So I know that there's got to be a way to use a material to smooth out those sharp, jaggy, pixely edges. I'm not sure how to do that, and I'm not going to bother with that. I just want this to be done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in with this mesh, and I'm going to apply a lot of detail to it. I'm sure there's got to be a better way using material to smooth out the polygons, but we're going to call this good enough for now. We're going to remesh this, but we're going to use a much smaller size. Let's see how the render looks. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's good enough. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our render. This is it. It's my skull. This is my first attempt at Blender. And there we go. So as you see, I chose a subject that didn't matter if it was all wonky and weird looking. I feel like I got a good first handle on the tools of Blender. Now, I have an idea of what I'm going to be doing for my client's mask, and I think the decisions that I made in this one will translate over, but we'll see. So wish me luck, and that's it from me for now. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for following along with my little Blender journey. Hey, let me know in the comments. Have you used Blender before? What do you think of my skull? Do you have any tips or suggestions for me? I'm sure lots of you who have used Blender are like shaking your head at some of the obvious mistakes I made, but I'd love to hear from you. And while you're down there, click the thumbs up button if you like the video. Click the thumbs down button if you dislike it. Subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. And as always, thanks for watching.